Good afternoon, everybody. So I wanted to share some things about this long overdue honors conferencing rubric. Okay, so first, my apologies for the lateness on this, but as you know, yeah, it's crazy, right? It's busy. It's a busy time of year. Anywho, here it is. It's done. And I wanted to let you know that I plan on going over this with students during the mandatory honors meeting that will occur this Wednesday. Now, middle schoolers are supposed to attend at 10 a.m., and that goes until 10:30. And then the one for high school starts at 10:45 and goes until 11:15. And during that time, I'll be going over this rubric, and then I will also be talking to them about their check-in sheet, which they should have. And if they don't have it yet, then I'll make sure to provide the link so that they can make a copy and get to work on this. Now, this is what students are supposed to use before and during conferences that they have with you. So really, this is supposed to be their primary kind of body of evidence throughout the entire honors project, right? This is where they're going to link in all their work and all that sort of thing. This goals section is going to be greatly expanded, as it says here, right? To show work and artifacts and research, and there should be a whole lot of links in there in addition to all the goals that they've set, so that they can move through the project from check-in 1 to 2 to 3 until the project is due on May 6th. Okay, so anyway, about the rubric, a couple of things. We're going standards-based here up top, all right, just for simplicity of the rubric. And so meets is a 3. Meets is students doing well. Student is on track and on par. Exceeds is exactly what that means, right? It's above and beyond your expectation. I've tried to phrase the wording here in such a way that it makes it pretty simple for you to decide along with your student as to whether they are meets or exceeds or perhaps approaching or maybe even not yet. And there are 5 different areas you'll be looking at: responsibility, preparation on goals, links to student work and or research, dialogue, like the actual conversation that happens between the two of you, and attainment of goals. Now, my recommendation to you is that you do this along with your student at the end of the conference. The student should be well aware of the rubric that you will be using because they will have seen it in the honors meeting that Sarah Swan and I will be facilitating on Wednesday this week. So just to let you know, to make it easy, what I would do is I would issue one rubric to each student, but it would only be a material for them. It would be kind of like I would house the rubric. I wouldn't necessarily give it to the student. I would just show it to them, okay? So I might rename it at the top with their name, make a copy just for that student. And then each time that I meet with a student, I might go and I might use a different color. Like, let's say for our first meeting, perhaps I'm going to use yellow, okay? So I'm going to put that up here. And I'm using the little annotate features, annotate.net, by the way. So this is for meeting number 1, right? And maybe I would have, no, don't use red. Red is bad. It always has that negative connotation, right? Or everybody associates it with like evil stuff in grading. All right, so maybe green would be the second meeting and so on, okay? So if I were to do that, I would say, okay, I'm meeting with the student. We're looking at something like links to student work and or research, okay? And the student is reading the descriptors. I'm reading the descriptors as well. And we decide that during meeting 1, maybe the student only has 1 link. But it is relevant, but it's only 1. They're not really diving in and doing a whole lot of stuff just yet. And so for meeting number 1, I might, okay, here's where you are. Now let's say I meet with the student again during the second check-in meeting in March, and the student has shown, oh, wow, they're doing a lot in terms of research, and they're linking in all this stuff that demonstrates their work, and wow, it's impressive and whatever. You know, maybe, perhaps, if it really does show great depth of work, then maybe for the second one, I put them over here. And that way the student can see growth and progress over time, as can you. All right? Now, one other thing that I wanted to mention here, sorry for the other line. All right, is down here. Now, sometimes standards-based grading can be a little bit harsh when you convert it to an A through F grade scale. And so I've tried to soften the blow a bit here if you would like. Okay, now that's obviously at your discretion. I would recommend softening it just a bit. because you want it to be a thing where students are willing to try, and even if they make a mistake or two, it's not going to totally demolish their grade, okay? So that way a student can get mainly 3s, but then maybe a 2 on something, and yet it won't totally decimate their grade. Just a thought. Anywho, this is 5 minutes long. Goodbye. I hope that this works for everybody, and I hope you're having a great day.